Yeah, so this session would be about using Azure Computer Vision. So as Anurag has walked us through the basics of what is Azure Computer Vision in the previous session. So in this session, I'll be talking a little more about computer vision, about a few other features, and how we can actually leverage this and integrate it with other products in your Office 365 suite, and build an image search center, right? So just to give an introduction, why do we need an image search center? So there could be multiple scenarios. So one scenario which, or one use case which I am currently working on or more interested is building up a corporate asset library, right? So every big organization have their own media files, assets, and the branding images and all those things stored at a central location, and we are all always advised to use those things, maybe in our presentations or in our applications or wherever it is within your organization, right? So in such cases, most of the time what I feel is it's very difficult to find an image which I'm currently looking for. So this is one useful scenario, like where we can implement an image search center which is linked to your corporate image library, and you can easily search for images and find them, right? So that's what we are going the application or the architecture what we are going to look at today. And yeah, so quick information introduction about myself. So my name is Ram Prasad, you can call me Ram, and I am currently working with Infineon as an application expert, mostly in the digital workspace and collaboration portals area, right? So I'm also a C Sharp Corner MVP and a PNP JS V2 contributor. And in my day-to-day activities at my work, so I mostly provide technical guidance and application architectures for different requirements and business applications, and mostly involved in the strategy, preparing the strategy, how we can digitize our applications and workplace at our at my company. So that's a quick introduction about myself. So the agenda would be, I don't have many slides. I'll just be walking you through the default Microsoft Docs and mostly showing you things on the Azure portal and demos. So roughly we'll talk about Azure Computer Vision, and then a brief introduction to Power Automate and SharePoint, and then what is the solution we are trying to build. Yeah. So let me switch back. So before we jump into Azure Computer Vision, so this is what we are trying to build, right? So this is a SharePoint site which has PNP modern search parts, and there are a couple of things at the background for this solution to work. So I'll touch upon those in a few minutes. But if you look at the end solution, this is how it will work. So if you see, it is showing me all the images. I can quickly search for things. So let me search for a car. Hopefully I have uploaded some images with cars. Yeah. So it is showing some images with cars, right? And then let me search for some wildlife. Right, so it's identifying the image based on whatever search keyword I have given, and there could be other parameters which we might be interested to use. So I might be interested to find only a cheetah, so I can use the tags as a refiner and find all the cheetahs, right? Let me remove this, and we can also refine the search items based on the colors, the primary identified colors of it. So let's say if I select yellow, yeah, so there is a dominant yellow color in this picture, so it's getting filtered. Similarly, we can filter for images based on their image type. So it could be a black and white image. So for this search keyword, there is no black and white image. Let me change the search. So these are all the black and white images. And then I have some clip arts, right? So that's how easy it is to search for images once we have a search center. And we can also have tags shown for each search result, and once we click on any of the tag, it will automatically filter for all those items with that tag. Yeah, so that's about the solution what we are going to build. And so what all will be involved in building this solution is the Azure Computer Vision, and then we use, like you have seen, we use SharePoint as a front end to show the search results, as well as in my example I'm also using it to store the images within a library. And then we use Power Automate to really integrate computer vision into our SharePoint infrastructure. So before we go into the details, I'll quickly walk you through a few. So Azure Computer Vision, I think we all had a good introduction from the previous session. So there are few things which I would like to touch upon again. So like we have seen, the computer vision is about the C part and about the it's one of the five pillars of the cognitive services what Azure offers. And so these are the different concepts which Azure computer vision is capable of. So I'll quickly go through this because most of this will be using in our search center, right? So one is identifying the tag. So if you see, if we give an image, it will try to identify different objects or living things within an image. So in this example, it's trying to find out grass, outdoor, whatever other things it is able to find. And another important aspect of the computer vision, or in fact any other cognitive service from Azure, is about the confidence score. So it's really important to take care of this because sometimes you will get tags or any other metadata it's identifying with a very low confidence score. So those are not really, may not be really relevant. So in my experience, I usually go with a confidence score of at least 0.8, but then we'll get lesser number of results. So if you want more results which need not be more accurate, then you can go with a lesser confidence score, right? So that's the importance of this parameter. And right, so that's one concept which computer vision can do. So it'll identify the different tags within your image. And the next one is object detection is what it'll do. So this is exactly same as content tags, so identifying tags, but one additional information which it'll give us is it'll give us the coordinates of these tags, right? And then we also have brand detection. So there are some predefined set of brands and logos which are fed into the computer vision model, and it'll identify those brands. And then we have image categorization. So categorization is basically it will try to identify the image to be in one of these categories. So we have, right now we have 86 categories which are identified, which are defined within my computer vision model, and it will try to identify in which category the image fits in, right? And then we have image descriptions. So this is again, so internally it is based on the tags and object detection concepts of computer vision. So based on how or how close the objects are to each other, and few other different parameters, it will try to give us a description, right? So in this case, it is saying a black and white photo of a city, and even the descriptions will have different confidence scores. And based on your application needs, you can select which caption is more appropriate for you based on the confidence scores. Right. So this is one aspect of computer vision, and then we have face detection. So face detection is again, it will try to identify what all human faces we have within an image, and it will also give us the coordinates, and it will also try to guess the age and gender of the person, right? And then we have image type detection. This is one feature of computer vision which we'll be using in search, the image search. So it will try to give us the different types of images which are there. Like, so if I give an image as an input to analyze, it will say whether it's a non-clip art or it's a normal clip art, or if it's ambiguous, right? So it will try to basically I can identify if it's a line drawing or a clip art using this feature. Then domain specific content, this is something which we have seen before also, like the okay, the things like identifying celebrities and landmarks, right? So if there is a need to, you know, identify only celebrities, so there is an API where we can say, we can call this endpoint model slash model, and then we can analyze. So there are currently two models which are supported. One is the landmarks, and the other is celebrities. So it will try to identify who a person is, and if we are giving a landmark as a model, it will identify what type of landmark or area of interest it is, right? And then the next one is the color scheme detection. This is also something which we are using in the image search. So it will give us what is the dominant foreground color, dominant background color, and the accent color. And it will also tell us if it's a black and white image or not, right? And then we have smart crop thumbnail. So this will generate a thumbnail for us, different thumbnails it will generate which we can use. Printed and handwritten text recognition. We have already seen a demo for this in the previous session, so you can recognize text from your images. And then the last concept which we have is the adult content detection, which will identify if the images are having any adult content or racial content, right? So roughly these are the different concepts which Azure Computer Vision provides us, and we'll be using a few of these concepts within the search center which we'll be building, right? So that's about the introduction to Azure Computer Vision and what all we can do. Before I go into, okay, let me go to the Azure portal. So like Anurag has already shown, so you can always go ahead and create a computer vision so a resource here. So I'll not go through those steps. So I already have a resource created. So I called it as image analyzer demo. So this is how you can manage your computer vision resource. And few things which I would like to touch upon here is the pricing tier. Uh, so you will have two different pricing tiers. So F0 is a free plan. So you can always use this for your development scenarios where you will have 20 calls per minute and 5,000 calls per month is the limit. And then for production scenarios or the actual scenarios, you can go with a standard plan where you'll be billed in batches, like per 1,000 calls you will be billed some amount. So in INR this is what we get billed, and there's a 10 calls per second limit, right? So that's about the pricing tier. And also another important aspect while creating an resource, so this is again a generic Azure concept, nothing specific to computer vision. So we'll be selecting the region whenever we are creating a resource, right? So there are in my opinion there are three different aspects what we should consider in selecting the location, right? The resource location. So first thing is about the latency. So we could choose the location which is closer to our users, right? So we can, that gives us a better latency. That's one aspect. The other aspect could be there could be some legal and data compliance issues, right? So some countries have generic some strict rules saying that the data cannot be sent outside their country, it has to be hosted within the country, and some specific rules like that. So in such cases also it'll help us to choose the right location, so that we don't break the rules. And the third aspect which we usually look at is if the content is very sensitive, and we don't want the content to be going outside our network. So this is not specific to location again. This is where we use the containers. So I'll talk about this a little bit later, where we can run the entire computer vision API within our hosted environment. So which it could this could be your own on-premise infrastructure, or it could be your own containers hosted on AWS or anywhere else, right? So that's these are all the things which we have to take care while setting up your Azure Computer Vision endpoint. And then keys, like we already know, we'll need a key to access the endpoints. And there is one other quick thing which I would like to touch upon is the API console. So we have an API console ready. So you can just browse to this console and you can see what all REST endpoints are there, which we can use from computer vision. So there's one thing which we are going to use is the analyze image, which provides us with most of the feature sets what we have discussed till now. But if you want to use a few other things like getting areas of interest or reading text using OCR, such things we can call the specific endpoints. So analyze image is one powerful endpoint which gives us a lot of information. So how do we test our endpoint? So once we create an Azure resource, we can come to the API console and test it. So in my case, I have selected Central India as a location. So I'll just select that. And so if you see here in the visual features, this is one parameter which we pass in the payload, right? So visual features and details and language is what it accepts. So in visual features, these are all the concepts which computer vision supports. So adult will give us if there is any adult information in the image. Then we have brands, categories, colors, so various other things, right? So if we want to get multiple concepts, like if we want to get metadata from multiple concepts of computer vision, we can always select these things separated with a comma, right? So in my case, so let's just get categories, and then I also want tags, and then I want the description as well, right? So these are the three things which I want. And details, will not use any domain here, so it will be a generic analyzing of the image, so I'll not use any domain. Language is English, right? And then in the headers we'll have to pass the subscription key which we'll have from your Azure portal. So you can go to keys, and I'll just copy the key, come back here, and I'll paste it, right? So that's how we get the key. And how do we send the image to the endpoints, right? There are two ways in which the analyze image endpoint accepts the image. So one is you could send it as a stream in the body, or you can give a URL which is hosted somewhere, like it could be hosted anywhere on a public infrastructure. So it should be publicly accessible without any authorization or authentication mechanisms, right? So just for an example, I'll use one image which is on the internet. Let me copy the value here, right? So then it will show you how the request URL would look like, and this is how my HTTP request would look like. So I'll just click on send, and this gives me the response. So what, let me also open the image which I have given as an input. So this is the image which I've used in this example. And if you check in the API console, so it has identified the category as a car, and then we have the tags are identified as building, red, car, outdoor, wheel, everything. So most of the things are fitting in. So if you look at the confidence scores, it's very high. And then this is where I was talking about really checking about the confidence scores. So there is a tag which has been identified as a roof, but the confidence score is almost 0.08, which is 8%. So I can safely assume that this is not a valid tag, right? Because in in this image, I don't know if there is any roof. It's hardly we can say, right? And then it also says that it's a BMW, but it's a Mercedes car. So this also can be ignored. So the confidence score is less, so it's not necessarily a valid tag. And then we can look at the caption. It says a red car parked in front of a brick building, which is a very appropriate caption for this image. So we should also look for the confidence code for the captions. Sometimes we get a very low confidence code captions which may not be proper. Then I also have the format. These are, again, we don't really need computer vision for this. We can actually extract this from the image metadata, but yeah, as an additional information, we get these as well, right? So I haven't used the color concept here. If I have used the color concept, I would have got the dominant color and rest of the information for this image, right? So that's about the API console and how we can manage and go about with the Azure Computer Vision API. And like I mentioned a little while earlier, so this is a hosted API. So computer vision, so currently it runs completely on the cloud within the Azure infrastructure. So there could be scenarios where you want to run this within on premise. So that is when we have the support for containerization. So you can install the computer vision containers within your infrastructure and run it within your uh, on premise or within your own any other cloud provider, right? And apart from this, we also have something called as a custom vision API, where you can train the model. So you can give a lot of data, like you can have your custom images, like let's say you can show different automotive parts, right? And identify that what part is defective and what part is working well. So you can show some circuit boards and see if this circuit board is really designed appropriately or not. These kind of scenarios are totally custom to your business cases and domains. So in such cases, you can use custom vision, where you can train your models on your own and you can define your own data sets there. And another advantage with custom vision is also that all your data and whatever image you are sending to analyze always sits in your infrastructure. So, so using that, you can handle your data privacy scenarios or compliance rules specific to your company and region, if there are any. And coming to the billing about computer vision, this is something we have to touch upon a little bit. So the billing would still be the same. Though the entire data model and everything sits in your infrastructure, there is a communication which happens happens to Azure. This is only for the billing information. So the information is sent to Azure saying that how many requests are consumed or how many requests are used using your custom vision API within your infrastructure. This is only for the billing purpose, but there is no other data being transmitted to Azure. So that's about the different possibilities within the Azure computer vision and how we can use it. Right. So then coming to the solution architecture, like I said, we'll be using a host of services here. So we'll be using SharePoint for hosting our images. Then we'll use Power Automate or previously called Microsoft Flow to create the connection between computer vision. So this is how the flow would look like. So initially, whenever I upload an image into my image library, so this could be the image library, which I would say that all my corporate assets and the branding files are uploaded, right? So once an image is uploaded here, I'll spin up a Microsoft Flow or the Power Automate flow, which will automatically trigger whenever an image is uploaded into a library. And the flow would internally call the computer vision API with all the metadata and all the configurations what I need. And my computer vision returns the data back to the flow, and the flow in turn updates these values. So it could be the tags or the description, what is the dominant color and the black and white or clip art type. All this metadata is in turn updated into the columns or the metadata of that specific image into my SharePoint library, right? So within this first part, I think it's covered like how we use the computer vision and how the data is updated back to my SharePoint image. And once it is ready, this is again a standard SharePoint concept. So we have a SharePoint search service. This is again powerful in feature within SharePoint, where you can search for different content within your library. So it crawls the images along with its metadata and it prepares the index. And then the UI or the front end, what you have seen in the demo at the beginning of this session, is done using the PNP modern search part. So these are again SharePoint framework web parts, which are open sourced. You can go ahead and use them. And the the complete infrastructure of the or the front end is built using the PNP modern search parts, right? So that's about the complete in the architecture, like how different products communicate with each other and how they are connected. So let me show you how it works practically. Uh, so like I said, this is my SharePoint site where I have one library called as pictures. So I have created a pictures library where I intend to upload all my images here, right? And how do we create a flow which triggers automatically when an image is uploaded here, right? So I can go to my Microsoft Flow. I can log in here. I can go to my flows, create a new automated flow. I'll call it as global AI demo. And let me skip this. I'll search for the trigger within my flow. So the trigger here should be whenever a file is created, right? When a file is created. So within my SharePoint connectors, I'll see what trigger I'll use. So I'll be using when a file is created properties only. But where is this in SharePoint? Okay, let me use this one. Created or modified. Ideally, I think modified scenarios will not really need. It's only when an image is created. So now I'll use this trigger. Okay, then I let which is my image search, and this is the one. And what is a library where my images will be hosted? So the library will be, or I'll have to. Okay, so pictures is my library and I'll not be using any folders.
And so this is the trigger. So what am I defining here is whenever a file is created within my pictures library of this site, this flow gets triggered. So and when it triggers, what should be the next step? The next step should be I'll try to get the content of this file. So I'll just say get content. And again, I'll provide the site address, which is image search, and the file identifier is, we'll get this identifier from the trigger. So I can use this ID as the identifier. And then the next step would be, so once I get the file content, I can, there is another connector or yeah, there's another connector for computer vision. You can just select for computer vision. And we have computer vision API. Within this, we can try to use the analyze image action. So what does it expect here is it'll look for a connection. You can create a connection for this, and we'll try to pass the image content. And so the reason why I'll not use this action is, if you see here, we are not really provided with an option to, select the different visual features what we want. Even after creating a connection, it shows a drop down here. We can select whatever visual features we want. So it could be description, caption, or tags, but it doesn't really allow us to specify multiple values. So it's like for every different visual feature, you have to add a new action and then create multiple actions for it. So instead of this, I'll try to use the HTTP action, where I can query a HTTP REST endpoint and specify different payloads there. So that will be much more useful in this case. So I'll use the HTTP, and then the method would be a post call. So I'll not fill up all these details for the benefit of the time. I'll go back. I already have this kind of a flow created. So I'll just show you what all is done here. So this will be a post endpoint, and then we can give the URI. So this URI you can get from your Azure portal here. So you can go to keys and endpoints, and then you can see the endpoint URL here. So you can provide that endpoint URL, and then we have to provide some headers. So one will be the content type, which says application slash octet stream, and then I provide the subscription key. And these are the different visual features what I was mentioning before. So here I can specify multiple things. So in our case, we'll use description, tags, image type, and color, right? And format is where I specify whether I'm giving the image content or the image URL. So image URL means I'll specify the URL of the image which is hosted somewhere else, a publicly available endpoint or a publicly available resource, right? And image content is where I'll send the byte stream of the image directly in the body. So if you see here in the body, I'm sending the file content. The file content is something which we got from the previous step, which is get file content, right? And once we get this, I'll be updating the properties of the specific file, right? So in this case, so let me try to change this to the picture library what we have. So I'll change it to pictures, and here also let me change it to pictures. And whatever we have here, so let me copy this. We are trying to take the caption. So what we are doing here is from the previous step, which is the HTTP call, we are going to the description and we'll get the first caption. So here I'm not really checking the confidence score and all these things, just for the demo. So I'll update the caption as the title of the image, right? Uh, let's see if there are any other properties which I can update. Nothing. So I'll just save it here. Okay. Refresh the schema. I have some custom columns in the other library which it is not taking here. So let me see if it can be refreshed. Okay, that's all what we are doing. So let me right. So I saved the flow. So what will happen is let me try to upload an image into my pictures library, right? So I just open my pictures library. I have some sample images here. So I'll just drag and drop this into the picture library. So what will happen as soon as I upload an image here, my flow gets triggered. So let me go back to my flows. Image analyzer demo is my flow. So let's go to the all runs. So this could take a couple of seconds. Okay, it has failed for some reason. Okay, I think my subscription key was wrong. So let me copy the new subscription key. So this is my new subscription key and this will be my new endpoint. So I've just resubmitted the flow by updating the new subscription key and endpoint. Now it is successful. So if you see, uh, the trigger got executed when a new image is uploaded, and in the get file content, this method gives us the output. So if you can see, this is just a byte stream. So I can just click on download to see the byte stream, and then here is a HTTP call. So and whatever we have passed in the inputs, whatever payload we have given, and this is the response what we get. So we asked for color, so it has given us that this is a gray image. The dominant color is gray, and then this is not a clipart type, and this is also not a line drawing. And then we have some tags. It says there is a bird, parrot, few things, and then I also have a description, right? So once I have all these details, I can, using the update file properties, I can actually go ahead and update the appropriate metadata or the columns in my library. So in this case, I haven't updated it in anywhere. So that's how we can, really create a Power Apps flow, sorry, a Power Automate flow uh, to, integrate, to consume the metadata from computer vision and bring it back to SharePoint. So in my case, we're building the search center, so the flow goes really complex. So I'll show you the full flow here. Um, so what we do here is we'll try to get the different tags based on the confidence score. So if you see here, I'm getting the dominant colors. So the dominant colors really doesn't have any confidence score. And then in the tags, I really check for the confidence score. So for example, I've given a confidence score which is greater than 5. Only then I take the tags into a variable. Similar thing I do for the caption, right? And we set the caption only when the confidence score is 0 greater than 0.5. And then I update all these properties. So if you see, I have multiple properties. So I use caption, image, height, width, is black and white, clip art, line drawing, and tags and colors. These are manage metadata type of columns, right? So that's how the full flow would look like. So I'll not really try to build this now. um, so once this is done, let me go back to my other library. So gallery is another library which I have used earlier. So if you see, I have some 544 images already uploaded here. So whenever an image is uploaded here, the other flow which I've shown just now, the full implementation of the flow, that got triggered, and every image got its metadata updated. And so once we have the data in the SharePoint library, and if it is configured to be indexed and crawled by the SharePoint search service, all this metadata gets crawled, and I'll quickly touch upon the search schema. So the search schema, we'll have something called as managed properties within search schema, where we can identify what all refiners we are trying to configure in our search application. right? So I prefix them with ISX so that it's easy to filter and find out. Let's see if I get all my managed properties, right? So these are the different managed properties which I've defined. So I want to search for the indexed content based on the caption, and then I want to refine based on all these properties. So it could be tags, line drawing, whatever, right? So then that's how the search service can be configured. So I'm just not going in detail because that's not the intent of this session, but you can explore more about search service and how we can configure all the different managed properties. And I'll also quickly touch upon the PNP modern search parts. This is what we are using in my solution. So PNP search parts is, again, as I said, it's an SPFX solution, an open source one, backed by the community, and it's very extensible. Like, you can really build up custom search interfaces without writing any developing any code of your own. So most of the scenarios you can just customize it using some properties, editing the web parts and connecting them to each other, right? So I'll just quickly edit and show you what all are possible. So it provides us one search box web part where you can provide the query, and then there is a verticals where you can define different types of categories. So in this case, we are saying I want to search for black and white images, clip arts and all. Then we have the results, and the results is one important or most extensible web part where you can define custom templates for each result item. So you can completely change the UI and make it how you want to look. And then we have the refiners. These are again linked to the different aspects or different metadata what is returned from computer vision, right? So that metadata is in turn mapped to the SharePoint managed properties, which are shown as refiners here. uh, so overall, I think at a very high level, that's the suite of products which we are using and how it works. Uh, so this is the solution, right? And I think yeah, we have already gone through the demo of these things. So if at all, if any one of you wants to really try this out at your organizations and see how it can be used, I have a series of YouTube videos recorded which will give you the detailed steps. So the Power Automate flow on how to create it step by step, and how to configure your SharePoint search service, and what all to be used within your computer vision API, right? All these are well recorded, and this is a series of 5 to 6 videos which you can always go through. And if you have any queries, you can always reach out to me. So these are some references which we have used. So always refer the official computer vision documentation, because there are some limitations within computer vision which we currently face. So there is one hard limit of whatever image we are sending to analyze to the computer vision API, right? So there is a limit of 4 MB, so we cannot send an image which is greater than 4 MB. These kind of limitations are there, and it's always good to refer the Microsoft official docs as and when you need these things, because they keep changing. And this is the API reference which we have used, and the PNB modern search parts which are used for building the front end. And yeah, so that's all I wanted to share. Basically, how we can use the computer vision API to build up your corporate image search center. Should be really useful, right? So if you have any queries, you can always reach out to me. These are my different social media handles and my email ID. uh, if you want to discuss about your use cases, or anything you want to talk about Azure or the SharePoint, or in fact this specific solution, you can always reach out to me. uh, so we can open up for questions now.